I spend a lot of time talking with guitar makers because I often work with such unique pieces. Guitar makers come by and they're scratching their head, or they're looking at it that's incredibly beautiful, or interesting. But typically we're taking them to retailers, to the press, and to guitar players. I have a very hands-open approach to everything I do. So in this case, I try and make an interesting picture and present it in an interesting way that is open and available for us to respond to the questions and needs of whoever that particular customer is. I don't have a very forceful approach with anything I do. It's much more about the pull rather than the push. I know I place certain instruments in spots in the show. I'm very conscious of where the entrance is and what they're going to see first. Their first impressions about how we lay them out are in maximum stimulus. I don't put acoustic instruments beside each other or electric instruments beside each other. By maximum contrast means that everything will stand out in its own space and show its own features. So if it's a guitar player, they'll gravitate towards something that interests them for some reason. Whether it's I have no idea what that is, or that is very interesting to me and I want to pick it up and I want to touch it, I want to play it. The same thing with retailers or the press. It's usually about just seeing where they naturally go with it. So when you're talking about buying a guitar, I consult with retailers also. I'm a consultant to not just the trade show, but also to some retailers in the world. And I firmly believe that on the retail side of things, it's not about selling, it's about buying. So a customer is coming to you because they have a need. And if you have done your buying properly, you should have covered most of the needs. And so when the customer comes in and expresses what their need is or what they think their need is, because sometimes they don't quite know, sometimes they need, or they've heard some misinformation out there that an expert needs to sort of guide them through. So if you've done your buying right and your inventory is right in your store, then you should be able to help a customer find that thing already. Quite the opposite of having inventory that you're trying to push out the door on someone.